Small promises look weightless until they bend a life. In a valley hemmed by winter cliffs, a man named Edmund discovers that the tiny vows he shrugs off, "I'll mend it by dusk, I'll bring the water, I'll rise before the bell," are stones in a pack he must carry everywhere. Break enough and your name thins, your hands forget their strength, rooms cool when you enter. Keep them, and the path underfoot hardens, one sure step at a time. Tonight, a bridge is failing, a ledger is bare, and a village decides whom to trust. This is not a tale about grand oaths sworn before kings. It is about the quiet, stubborn weight of small promises, and how honoring them for a single winter can turn a frightened man toward himself again. Ignore them, and you drift. Carry them, and you grow. Walk with us. Feel what one kept word can build today. In the year 1502, high in a northern valley where goat paths thread heather and slate, Edmund Rook's name had grown light. He was a strong-backed cartwright with a thin ledger of follow-through. Tools returned late, fences half-mended, dawn slept past the bell. Winter pressed hard. A footbridge sagged over the black stream, the parish coffer rattled. Master Giles Wayne, the village reeve, set 3 small promises before him. By dusk, wedge oak under the bridge's south post. At dawn, carry 2 buckets to the old widow's door. Before noon, return Brother Ansel's knife you borrowed at harvest. Edmund's stomach knotted, 3 stones for the pack. He did not argue. Under a pewter sky he cut the oak and drove it home, fingers numbed, listening to the ice groan around the piles. At gray dawn he left the water by the lintel and spoke no word. Before the sun climbed, he laid the knife on the priory step and knocked once. Nothing grand shifted, but men nodded when he passed. Giles's eyes weighed him differently. Edmund felt a thread draw taut inside, like a bowstring finding pitch. The next day, 3 more, a hinge oiled, a wheel trued, a promise kept to stand watch till matins. Snow burned his lungs. Tallow smoked his eyes. He learned to choose the next small vow and carry it, not all at once but one sure step. Word by word, his name thickened. Brother Ansel, noting accounts, glanced up as Edmund returned a borrowed all before it was asked for. By the first thaw, he could feel it. The path was forming under his feet. Edmund began to measure mornings by 3 vows he could lift and set. Rise at first bell, mend one small thing, bring something needed where it would be found without asking. The doing thickened his name. At first light, the priory bell shook sleep from the rafters. Edmund stood, folded his blanket, and named the 3 aloud. He stitched a rent in a harness with boar bristle, lifted a fallen lintel stone with a lever and a prayer, left a bundle of kindling at a sick neighbor's threshold. No trumpets, only the scrape of leather, the hush of breath in cold rooms. Master Giles handed him a larger trust. Take 2 men and set the bridge right. Do it as you've done, one sound promise at a time. Edmund did not swell with speech. He counted tasks like beads. Choose sound planks from the alder grove, true the pegs with a drawknife, bind the rails with rawhide while the sap ran. He kept the next promise and the next. He chose slowness over show, measure over noise. Hands remembered strength the tongue could never borrow. Brother Ansel recorded the parish accounts in his careful hand, pausing once to say, "A ledger holds more than coin, Edmund. It holds a man's word." Edmund bowed his head and returned to work. When storms threw knives of rain, he came with pitch and twine. When a pin splintered, he set a new one before complaint could gather. He checked the footings at dusk, listening to the river's black tongue. He checked them again at dawn. Each kept word laid gravel on the road of his own belief. Rooms no longer cooled when he entered, they lifted. A pack mule of a man, he learned he could carry what he promised, and that was the growth no book could teach. By midsummer, the bridge no longer sang in flood. Children crossed without fear, carts rolled with grain, old men paused on the crown to breathe and bless the planks. Giles clasped Edmund's forearm. "You've grown, because you chose to carry." Edmund stood by the stream, clear and restless over stones, and understood. Small promises had not merely repaired wood. They had built a path inside him, stone by patient stone, toward a man he could trust. Conclusion: From this story we learn that the weight of small promises, carried daily, forges a path into self-belief and growth, one kept word at a time.